Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the 4th of February, and we'll be looking at the S&P, the NASDAQ and some NASDAQ stocks. And starting with the S&P here, just carrying on from where we were, not a lot of change. We're heading in the right direction, so still as a conservative count, we're still just looking for a move up closer towards the 4,000 area, and all of this is a conservative count. So if the market is going to go beyond here, then we'll be tracking 5 waves up here, and once they're finished, wherever they finish, then any move above that, then we'll adjust the wave count to take us higher. But at this stage, we'll just go step for step. We're hitting up at 4,000, which obviously is a large number, and we'll certainly see the market have a dance across there. But if we get a classic trading levels pattern across there, so the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then an ABC sort of pattern, then we'll look to go long at that point here for that. And we may be able to get in further down through here. We'll also need to talk about turning bearish and how we will handle that as well. So we'll start to pick that up over the next few days as well. And let's move in here to the intraday. I think I'll just go to the hour, the 15-minute, and then move in from that point. Now, there's probably 2 different ways to count this to the upside. We'll compare the 2 of them on the one with the NASDAQ and one with the S&P, okay? So from wave 4 here, we're looking up to wave 5 here. So we're looking for 5 waves in green as 1 and 2 here. And then I've built this up as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. We'll have a closer look at that on the tick chart as 3 and 4 here. We should see a bit of a dance across the, well, there's failed to get these highs here. So there's obviously going to be some resistance. Well, that's kind of lying, I mean, I'm just lining it up with the center in through here. So that's kind of hitting that there already, and that's at 38.50, and we talked about that yesterday. So we're going to see a dance across that number. I mean, that's the halfway mark between 8 and 9, of course, as well, and 5 being the second strongest number. So eventually that should become support, but it would be safe to say that because of these highs and the end of this particular structure of the third wave here coming into the 3-9, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. So just be mindful of that. We're going to see sort of corrective patterns play out in here. So if you're long, then you'll need to leave the stops out of the way and look just to add on pullbacks and keep building into the trend as such, and having faith in that the impulse wave that will take us higher here. And we are starting to see NASDAQ stocks move up nicely as well. So I don't think the 15-minute chart is going to tell us much of a different story. So I might just go to the tick chart, I think. Okay, so just a little bit more detail here. So it's good to pay attention here because the NASDAQ will be slightly different. So we're looking for our 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the upside there. That wave 4 can come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. This wave 5 needs to make a top. We know that the 850 has got supply there from the old highs. And then how far will this wave 5 up here extend? That's one of the questions that we'll need to look at. But in looking at this, here we went over this yesterday, but 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Nice 4 here going sideways, 5 here for 1 and 2, and then up for 3 and 4. I think this is where we were yesterday, wasn't it? So 4 and 5 here for the third wave, the fourth wave here, and then moving up for the 5th wave coming into this space. Yeah, so I'm okay with that at this point. So we're just going to see more of a dance across that particular level, but the trend is up in that instance. Okay, I'm just going to save that. So just basically hold long really, And let's have a look at the NASDAQ. So I'll just take it here from the 1 hour chart. So this is counted differently here. In this case here, I've got all of this up for wave 1 here, as we had yesterday. And the S&P count, if you recall, is having this as wave 1 down through here. So this is the 1 hour chart. I'm just going to cut through to the tick chart to explain what I've done here. So yeah, it's just something, I just need to mull it over a little bit. But yeah, so from the low here, we had the S&P with wave 1, green wave 1 here, but this one here I've got as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave, the fourth wave, and then all the way up as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for wave 1 here. The reason I've done this for is because this particular structure here had more of an expansion in it, and it just got the right look and feel about it. And it has pulled off here quite nicely, and it does oddly look like a little bit of a impulse wave down. Of course, what we need to do is always look at the 50-60% retracement level. Will it go down there? I don't know, but still we just need to take it on board, because I mean, if you're long in this, well then, you know, you need to know that. So it possibly could move to there. One of the things that we could look at though is normally the length of the A wave, copy that, can equal the length of the C wave, so it may not come down. And normally we find the number 3 here, in this case 300, the top of group 1, as a really good support. So it may just come to there and move off from that point up into a wave 3 that will move up quite strongly as a wave 3. You can also go long again above this high here, or this old high, and if this pulls down here, let's just say that it does, right? I haven't pulled this apart, I don't understand that, I haven't looked at it. It may just go straight up from there as well, and that's why you need to go long. But if it does pull down here, then you'll have that other high here to go long on as well, okay? And you could also just draw a line through here as well and get a better thing, and you know, you can do all that kind of stuff. You should have your own setups worked out. But this number's important, the 500 here, 5 being the second strongest number. So that 500 is giving us this opportunity here. You need to see corrections as opportunities rather than an inconvenience, because they give you a chance to to add to your positions, and it also too is the accumulation process for the next distribution process. So markets are just trends and corrections of different degrees, and you need to make corrections your friends, because they're the things that take your money. So that's the thing that you need to understand. Okay, let's have a look at some stocks. So looking at Facebook first. So from this wave 4 here, we've had this as wave 1 here, and a very sharp wave 2. So it does leave us sort of scratching our heads, you know, what occurred there. But when we look at it on the tick chart, as you may know, from this is a daily chart to 100 ticks. Bring in some more data here. Don't need all of that. So as you know, I counted wave 1 up to here, and then we've had this sort of news-driven event. So, but still an A and a B, and down for a C wave here. So we've been counting it to the upside. And yesterday when we looked at it, this is the 50-60% retracement level. So if it's going to fail and move down, then this is where it's going to move from. Okay, but it's looking rather impulsive here. So I think it's going to continue to climb. That's the safe trade 272, part of group 2, so 65, 72 and 80, that's all of group 2. Now that it's in 65 again and finding support there, that's the first step of support for the trend to the upside. And based on that support here, then you could probably go long here already if you wanted to. But you would need to keep the stop well out of the way down here somewhere. So I don't know if that's a lot or not. Just depends on what you're doing. Playing for the longer, if you're playing for the longer haul, then it's not a big deal. Otherwise, we can wait for something like this of 1 and 2, and it's probably some 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's probably up here and then up here again and up here again, and then some sort of correction from this point back into support here and then up, something like that. So yeah, what's the best way in? I suppose once we've got those 5 waves there, we can look at sorry about that. Let's just get another one. Here we go. We can just draw a line through that. That would be okay at that point. Yeah. So I'm just thinking. Yeah, we need the other side to this really. But anyway, you can go long if you wanted to in this one. Okay, so next one is Apple. So with Apple here, we're looking for, as you know, is wave 3 here and wave 4 here, and then looking for further upside. Now, it's probably the case that we need to put wave 4 sitting over here where wave A is, and we look at this as wave 1 here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Okay, that's probably the case. So what I can do is I'll just put that over there for today. But even so, just counting this up here, we'd still have 1 and 2 here and 3 here of some degree or another. So we were looking for the market to pull down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and then move off again from that point. So you could go in and buy it here if you wanted to. This is really just a reaction from the 150, even though it didn't get there, but close enough. So yeah, it's bullish. So you just need to find a way in on that. Next one is Square. So with Square here, I'd counted all 5 waves up, as you know, and then I was looking for a move down. We're not getting that move down, so I need to expand the wave count one more. This move down through here is counting as an ABC correction. It may just be an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave down here as well. So what we're going to do, the 230 here is the 61.8%, so we need that as support. So if we look at that on the tick chart, so we put that in at 230 because that's the top of group 1. So we've got 10, 20. You could have built in on these, but what we're looking for here is we're looking for the 230 as the support, and for the support we're looking for, well, the arrival, the reaction, we've got all that sort of stuff. We want that first high above the level, and then we want this here. And then that will take, because the 230 is the 61.8%, then if it's going to fail, that's where it's going to fail from. So this solves that problem. Okay, and if that's the case, then if we get that, then if we get that triggered there, then I will adjust the wave count and take a look at the bigger picture and then rework it into its next conservative count. Alphabet is next. So it's popped up there. I think the interesting thing about this for me though, as an analyst and looking at this, is that what I'm seeing in this, say, this structure here and this structure here, is I'm seeing a lot of it's got a lot more power in it, hasn't it, than all of this. Well, we had that little move there, but all of this has just been sort of, you know, vibrating and moving at the same time. But here we're getting some real push here for this. So even if you were long and you've taken profit here, that's fine. But what we'll do next time is we'll have a look at this structure here. And because I'd counted it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then going up for 5, 5 here in 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I still need to respect that, but what I need to do now is I need to work out 5 waves in this particular structure in here, and once that's finished and then we take out a top from that point, then I'll have to look at that a little bit differently. And this is acting like a bit of a third wave here, so what we'll have to do is probably look at this as third wave sort of activity in here, okay? But I'll pull that apart. We've done our job there, so next time we'll have a look at, pull that apart and have a look at that. But I'm quite sure that we'll be sort of heading up, but we do need to detach ourselves from that 2000. And Amazon here, we've been triggered into the long side here, and yeah, there's a couple of ways to count all of this in terms of an A and a B and a C and a D and an E wave here, and then looking up for 1 and 2 here, and then pushing up higher. So we can just continue to do that. We'll just leave the stop well out of the way here for this. It shouldn't come back that far. And we should be looking for a move up into the 4,000. That's what we should be looking for here. And like I said before, yesterday, is that that if this has got all this distance to travel here, that means the stocks like Google and I mean even the NASDAQ and so on would need to have that in mind there as well. So we need to take that on board and look at this and compare that to the NASDAQ as well. So yeah, so it's still a fair bit of upside here based on stocks like this. Is not the only stock. There's other stocks like this, of course, in their own ways. And the next stock is Tesla off here. And with Tesla here, we've looked at this in a couple of ways. Yesterday we looked at it being like this here, as wave 3 here, an A wave here, a B wave over here, and a C wave down here. And if we, if I'd seen this as being corrective here, and also pulling up past the, like this is the 61.8%, we're at the square root of that, which is 78.6, but so it could be like that. We'll just give it a little bit more time, but otherwise we'd have to look at this as well, this wave 4 would go over here like it was before, and then wave 5 over here, and then we'll have to look at this as the whole A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave coming down here. But looking at the other stocks and the indices, it looks like we're heading higher, so that means that we'll end up being up at $1,000 for this stock for this. So one way of getting out of this was looking at going long on this top here. And we can be able to see this churn off from here. It's a bit annoying when you get sort of gaps like that. It's like, how do you work that into the count as such? Do you look at it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2? Or is that all of 1 here and 2 here and all of 1 here and back for 2 here? This is a structure here, this is the other structure here. So this is probably a 4th wave here for this. So as a 4th wave, we could look at it. It's going to find support here, so we could actually just drop that down to this level here now for that. And we'll just leave it at that for the time being. Right, and the other one's LendingTree, so not a lot of movement here, but as you know, I like this stock in terms of its pattern. So the ABC here, and then up for 1 ABC here. So it's got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got, it's got further to move to the upside, so we can look at 500 for this stock. As I mentioned before, we're just tracking this up here as 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here. Still haven't looked at this, probably 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here for the 3rd wave, 4th wave and 5th wave. So we've probably still got, yeah, so that would be from this point to that point there. So I can just get rid of that just so I know. And that would be the 1 and the 2 here, and the 3, and we're looking for the 4th wave across here. That's what those guys are, and then the 5th wave here, and then the ABC. So if you're in, that's fine. Otherwise, we can pick it up over this side over here for that as well. In both cases, we do need to leave the stop well out of the way until we've pulled back here and then moved off, and then we can move the stop up there. So we need to have faith in the trend, and to have faith, not blind faith, but a knowing faith, and that's the faith that we have this here in 3 waves as a corrective wave, and this as an impulse wave. So that's the case that we build, and this 3-wave move here as well here. So we've got 3 structures here that are telling us that this market is moving higher, and then we've got the trading levels. So we're sitting on the 300 here. So major levels are just 1, 2, and well, all you need to remember is 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, and then we go back to using the power of 10, we go back to 1 again, so 10, 20, 30, and so on. So yeah, we've got support on this, not support on this level yet. We're going to be testing that again at some point, but yeah, all looking good there. It's enough rabbiting on. So thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Cheers.